All right, my friends, welcome back. And today I thought we'd do something a little bit fun because several weeks ago, Ford came out with their all-electric F-150, right? They're calling it the Lightning. And I didn't hear a lot of pushback that the Lightning in the old days was a really performance truck because, honestly, the electric is pretty awesome. But I discovered that Motorweek has a 2001 SVT F150 Lightning Retro review. And so today it's only 6 minutes long. Let's watch it and kind of see what we think. This should be a fun one.
Motorweek is made possible by TireRack.com, Hum by Verizon, RockAuto.com, State Farm, and WeatherTech.
Everyone knows that lightning is an electrical discharge from the sky. But the dictionary also defines lightning as moving with remarkable speed. And that's just what this Lightning, the Ford SVT F150 Lightning, was designed to do. When we tested SVT's 99 Lightning, we said it moved the pickup truck into a whole new performance arena. And now for 2001, there's an even more powerful Bolt. So, are you ready for another shock? Usually, the answer to that question would be a resounding no. We don't even like being jolted by an errant brush against a spark plug wire. But when that shock comes courtesy of a blast of horsepower and torque, accompanied by the high-pitched whine of a supercharger, we say, bring it on.
Okay, so let me just say, first off, supercharger, yeah. I've never been a fan of this truck. Not the Lightning itself, but this body style F-150. I like the boxy ones, and it's, you know, in hindsight, if you hear me talk about trucks, I really like the new Chevys. I don't necessarily trust their reliability, but I really like the style of the new Chevys, and I just like boxy trucks. This was revolutionary. When Ford introduced this body style, the slope nose and more rounded, it really was heads and tails, I believe, truly, above anything else out there. The interior was still cheap, and I didn't like the styling. I never did, and I still don't. A good friend of mine had a very offensive way to describe the mouth of it, looking like a fish doing something, let's say, inappropriate. But in terms of the suspension, the ride, the civilized nature of the truck, while still being able to do truck things, it was revolutionary. I don't like the style, but the numbers are awesome. So I just wanted to say up front, I'm not a big fan of this generation of Ford F-150.
And that's exactly the kind of charge delivered by the new 2001 Ford SVT F-150 Lightning. And our reaction was similar to one produced by an electrical shock. That is, we found it very hard to let go of the steering wheel. Here's why. Wedged deep into the Lightning's engine bay is Ford's 5.4-liter single overhead cam 16-valve Triton V8. It's topped with a water-to-air intercooled Eaton Generation 4 Roots-type supercharger that's been dialed in to produce 8 psi of boost. Sounds tame enough, but don't be fooled. SVT performance gurus have massaged and coaxed a spine-tingling 380 horsepower and 450 pound-feet of torque from this baby. That's a jump of 20 horsepower and 10 pound-feet of torque over the previous Lightning. Internally, the Lightning's power plant remains unchanged from last year, as does the 4R100 4-speed automatic transmission. So that extra boost in power comes from design changes to the air inlet system and manifold and a more efficient intercooler. SVT engineers have also shortened the Lightning's rear axle ratio to 3.73 to 1 from 3.55 to 1. And that means 0 to 60 romps in a quicker 5.4 seconds. And
Dang, guys, that's pretty impressive. I've never driven one. I'll be honest. I want to be upfront. This channel is all about transparency and honesty. I've never driven one, but I'm surprised at that. I knew they were a beast. Okay, I certainly read the articles about them, and I've seen them, of course. But 5.4 seconds. That's strong for a vehicle that has an unloaded rear axle. okay, that doesn't have weight back there. That's really impressive to me. And so American. Honestly, I guess now that I think about it, how American. Like, we have a truck. Let's put a bigger engine in it.
Mile blast of 13.9 seconds at 101 miles per hour. Power hits like a sledgehammer with maximum torque reached at only 3,250 RPM. But with the supercharger screaming and mufflers roaring, power is plentiful all the way to the red line. Your biggest challenge won't be getting there, it'll be getting there with the rear tires intact. And even after you arrive, you'll still want to order a round of burnouts for everyone. And once the smoke clears, be sure to tell your environmentally conscious friends the Lightning is classified as a low-emissions vehicle.
That's awesome. I'm just not a big fan of the government and regulations and, you know, classifying something as a low-emissions vehicle. I mean, come on, a 5.4-liter V8 is low emissions. That's pretty awesome. And it's funny he said that because when I was watching that, you know, the acceleration, and as it's barreling down the straightaway, you could see the exhaust going out the side, and I'm just like, what kind of fuel mileage does it get? It's how much CO2 does it release a year? And then they bring up environmental friends.
But the new Lightning is about more than just burnouts and gobbling up the straightaways. It's pretty competent in the corners, too. The Lightning's short, long-arm front suspension with coil springs and a 31mm stabilizer bar, and the 5-leaf spring solid axle rear with a 23mm stabilizer bar is largely unchanged for 2001. But the addition of Bilstein shocks at all 4 corners has tamed the highway ride somewhat. And whether you're at speed or running through a set of twisties like our low-speed slalom, the Lightning sticks to the pavement like a leech on the back of your leg. The stock F150 recirculating ball steering system is precise, feeling slower than it is due to front push, but it has a fair amount of useful feedback. And body roll is so minimal it's not even an issue. In fact, it's only when you lose your self-discipline and overwork the throttle that the back end comes around to greet you. And while most of the credit goes to the suspension, the large beefy 18-inch wheels wrapped in Z-rated Goodyear rubber also play a significant role in the Lightning's high adhesion factor. And that goes for braking too, as we hauled the Lightning in from 60 and 119 feet. The brakes are large 12.1-inch vented disc with twin piston calipers up front, 13.1-inch solid disc and single piston calipers at the rear, and of course ABS. Our drivers were surprised at the lack of feedback coming from the brake pedal. No ABS feedback, no noise, nothing. But fade is non-existent and stability first-rate run after run. We think first-rate also applies to the Lightning styling. With the new billet-style upper and lower grills, the new headlight, and clear lens projector beam taillight design, the Lightning really looks like a cohesive design and not a truck with a lot of aftermarket add-ons. This is easily the best-looking Lightning yet.
Yeah, I will say that is a good-looking vehicle, and I think it might be this color they've got on it. Not a big fan of these clear tail lights right here, but the headlights and just the whole thing looks very, I like the word, cohesive. It would be easy to take something like this and make it look ridiculous, right? Look at what we've done. But honestly, driving around, the only thing that jumped out at me was the step here on the side, which is not just the Lightning, I don't like it, and the size of the tires. While it was accelerating and doing the slalom and everything else, I was like, you know, part of the reason it's sticking to the road is look at the size of the wheels on it, right? Look at the size of the rubber. But that's a handsome vehicle. I tell you, I wouldn't mind having one of these. This is pretty bad.
And remains a comfortable one too. Lightning's interior is unchanged except for new sun visors that now include vanity lights. The comfortable, supportive, butt-gripping seats we loved in the last Lightning are still here. And so are the easy-to-use controls, although a CD changer in the dash rather than behind the seat would be nice. And the gauges are a bit plain-looking. But at warp factor 9 with the scenery blurring, who's looking at the gauges? Cargo capacity is a measly 800 pounds, towing 5,000 pounds. But if you're buying a Lightning to make springtime mulch runs, you need to have your head examined. Besides, there wouldn't be much left in the back when you got home anyway.
800 pounds. That's tiny. I mean, you know, think about the videos I've done recently. The Maverick's rated to 1,500, and I think the Santa Cruz was it 600 or was it 1,000? I mean, granted, it's built for performance, not hauling. That's not how it's geared. That's not how the suspension is set up. I get it, but that sounds low. I mean, 600 pounds, that's a couple of people from Louisiana in the back.
To claim a 2001 Ford SVT F150 Lightning pickup for yourself, you'll need $32,460. The only option is a factory-installed soft tonneau cover that sells for $150. Given the rise in $40,000 luxury pickups lately, that's not bad. While the 2001 Ford SVT F150 Lightning may not be the most workaholic pickup on the road, it certainly is the most fun to drive. What more could you possibly want from a hot rod hauler? So when it comes to this kind of shock treatment, we say turn up the juice.
So let me say that was awesome. That was fun, and I would like to put a request that if you, a viewer, have owned or do own one of these generations, why did you buy it? And here's why I ask. Awesome vehicle, okay? Very impressive performance, Ford quality. I like the interior. It's not my favorite. There's a lot of plastic in there, but they normalized it a little bit. It's nice, okay? But why did you buy it? Because if you're looking for a truck, it's not the best truck. If you're looking for performance, why wouldn't you get a Mustang or Camaro? If you're looking for comfort inside, this isn't going to have the best ride. You only get 2 seats. So I guess this is built for the people who, I need to pick up something once in a while, so I need the truck. I want something I can drive in comfort with my CD changer to work every day, but also I just like power, right? I don't know. I feel like I wonder how many they sold, because this sounds like a very, very narrow market of people who want a muscle car, but also need to be able to throw some camping gear in the back, and they have to have a daily driver at the same time, but they don't have kids, or they have one that they can stick in the middle. I don't know. I wonder about the market. So I'm asking this out of respect. Honestly, I hope you take it that way. If you own one or owned one, let me know below. What was your situation? What was your deciding factor? Why would you not get a muscle car, a Mustang, something like that, or just a regular pickup truck? Why the Lightning? Other than that, I got to say that's incredibly impressive. I love the exterior, the interior, Ford standard for 2001, but I think it's very handsome, and I honestly think it's probably the most functional of the big 3 pickup trucks at the time, with really impressive performance. The only downside is, you've only got the 1 bench seat, and it can't hold a lot in the bed. That's not a lot of downsides. That price, that sounds high to me, but he's absolutely right. 2001, with trucks now, approaching over 40,000, and the average one today is over 50, and you can easily get $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 trucks. 32,000 doesn't sound too bad. So this was really cool, guys. What a nice truck, and absolutely nothing like what we're going to be getting, other than that electric one it'll have its own performance. And let's not forget the most important thing about the brand new Ford all electric. It has a front trunk, guys. This was cool. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.